Okay. So if you, and how many seasons did you give him EPO for?
Probably a couple.
Okay.
So stuff that came later, because I worked with him for a number of years, and he didn't initially do EPO, but toward the end he did.
How many seasons did he do EPO?
A couple.
Okay. So for prior to him using the EPO, do you recall how much you charged him?
Are you talking for the supplements?
Yeah.
A few $1,000s, like I told you
Okay,
before.
for how many years?
At least 3 or 4.
Okay. And when you say a few, do you mean 3,000 or 4,000?
It's tough for me to answer because I was not really keeping track. Not a significant amount of money.
Your best recollection.
I think it varied from year to year. It would depend upon, how can I say this? If Bill had his own sources of things, so if I had things and he needed things, or he had got his own things from different sources, wasn't like I was the only supplier for Bill. So at times
I think you have to, and I think your lawyer will agree, you have to listen to my question and answer the question. Could you just read back the question, Erica? and just to be clear, by the way, I forgot to say this. Mr. Conte may look casual with just a shirt, but he was here looking very natty and appropriate with a sports jacket, but it was hot and I asked him to take it off. So if anybody ever sees this, if we go to trial, no one should think that he was being disrespectful because of his manner of attire.
Thank you.
Okay. And now I forgot what the question was.
I have to do 2 questions prior. And when you say a few, do you mean 3,000 or 4,000? It's tough for me to answer because I was not really keeping track. It was not a significant amount of money. Your best recollection?
Yeah.
During the whole period of time, and my recollection is based upon what I remember from the information that came up in the Balco case, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 15,000 over a 5-year period.
15,000 over a 5-year period, and that was for wholly legal.
No, not wholly legal. That was just in total for everything.
Okay, but you didn't charge
legal and illegal.
Okay, you didn't charge him for the clear, correct?
No.
Did you give him the cream?
There were times when he got the cream, but the doctor that I got the cream from was a doctor that I met through Bill Romanowski.
Again, let your lawyer tell you.
Just on a few occasions I did.
Okay, but you charged him for the cream.
I don't recall exactly. I don't think I ever charged him, but I'm not sure.
Did you give him any illegal substances?
Yes.
Other than EPO, and when I use illegal, I'm using it in the sense of either criminal or banned substances. Did you give him any other illegal substances apart from the clear, the cream, and EPO?
I think a few times I also gave him modafinil.
And what's modafinil?
It's a stimulant.
Okay. And do you recall whether or not you charged him for the modafinil?
It's modafinil. And I don't recall that I did charge him.
Okay. And in terms of the EPO, I'm correct that you gave it to him, to your best recollection, for 2 years?
Yes.
And so that you would give him 2 or 3 boxes for the season?
I can't even remember a single transaction of what the number that I gave to him. So all I can do is tell you that I do recall giving him a few boxes a few times. And what time frame that was, I can't even tell you exactly.
When you say a few boxes, what's your best recollection of how many boxes?
3.
3. So that would have been $1,500.
Yes.
And to the best of your recollection, the other $13,500 or so that he paid you over that 5-year period was for legal supplements?
No.
Okay.
It was for growth hormone,
Okay.
which could have been anywhere from $700 to $900 a box.
Okay, and how many boxes of growth hormone did you give him?
That's a tough question to.
If you know, you know. Best recollection.
Half a dozen.
Okay, so $5,000 or $6,000. And then the rest of the...
I'm sorry, Jeff. You have to answer orally.
Yes.
So the rest of the money that you were paid, whatever the amount was, but your recollection of $15,000 was for all legal supplements.
A small portion was. The majority of what I was paid for were illegal drugs. Just a small portion were for legal drugs.
Well,
substances.
I'm just trying to figure this out. You don't recall charging him for the clear, correct?
I don't have a clear recollection of whether I did or I didn't. I don't think that I did.
Okay. And with respect to the cream, do you take notes on what he said about the cream? Let me see it. And the cream, you do not think you charged him, right?
As I started to clarify before, Bill had his own cream prescription.
That's
Okay,
not
but
the
just try to
question.
stick to the money issue. For a
I
moment.
may have on occasion, but not many times if I did.
Okay. And then you gave him HGH about 5 or 6 times, correct?
Yes.
At $900 a pop, so to speak.
That's a range too.
Yeah. A range from what? What's the range?
From 700 to 900.
Okay. And then you gave him that name of the stimulant that I can't recall how to pronounce. Imodafalin or something like
Yeah,
that.
modafinil.
Imodafenol. And you don't
On a
believe,
few occasions, it was not a lot.
and you don't believe you charged him for that.
I don't recall that I did, no.
Okay, so other than those substances, am I correct that any other money he paid to you were for legal supplements?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you had your telephone call with Mr. Hudson, did you have any discussions with him about the possibility that you would provide banned substances to Mr. Mosley?
There were probably 2 or 3 calls initially, and there may not have been a discussion of illegal substances in the first couple of calls, but at some point, and definitely before Daryl and Shane came up, we did talk about the possibility of them receiving illegal and banned performance-enhancing substances.
All right. Now, you had never met Mr. Hudson before, correct? Did you know anybody? Did you learn during those first conversations that you knew anybody in common?
He indicated that he had trained track athletes and had a background in track, and the discussion was more kind of in code and...
Well,
I know you're trying to
answer
be
my
helpful.
Okay.
I know you're trying to be helpful.
All right.
But try to just listen and just answer his question.
Okay.
what was the question, Erica?
Did you learn during those first conversations that you knew anybody in common?
We may have. I don't recall for sure.
Do you recall whether or not you reached out to any other third party after you had these initial conversations, or during the period you were having initial conversations with Mr. Hudson, to find out who Mr. Hudson was?
I don't believe I did, no.
Okay.